Can't break it. Breaking the stigma. I was going to break a pencil, and I'm a weak old lady. I can't even break a pencil. Breaking the stigma. There we go. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 200 of our Supersize Your Business Annual Challenge. And today we're talking about something that I decided a while ago that I needed to share. And that is, I share my struggles. I think I've probably done it all along, but I really intentionally started doing it after I had some feedback from clients and from people that watched some of my social media and said, oh my God, thank you for sharing that you're struggling with this too. And it happened to be, and I'll give you an example, a current example that I'm experiencing right now. But I shared, hey, everything isn't 100% honky-dory. And it isn't because I'm struggling with the idea of my business and what I'm trying to create in the world. I'm struggling with balancing all of the balls that have to be balanced when you're growing and scaling and supersizing your business. And I started sharing those things, I think mainly because once we get it out, we see the solution in front of us and it makes us feel better, right? The things we hang on to get stuck inside of us and they come back and rear their ugly heads at the worst possible times and opportunity. Maybe when you're pitching your presentation to another business, maybe when you're sharing information or trying to mentor someone else, it will trigger something that happened to you in the past that you've never dealt with. I'm learning all kinds of woo-woo things these days on the school platform, but it's true with that too. But I'm in a coaching program right now, and I want to share this story. I was going to share a story about being vulnerable, being just who you frickin' are, and where that comes from. My permission to be who I absolutely positively am right now and just show up comes from my sudden cardiac arrest. And some people that have never had a death experience are like, oh, you shouldn't talk about that because that's just promoting whatever, your stuff. Well, I'm not promoting anything. I'm just sharing that it took that for me to give myself permission to change and say no to certain areas of my life that were just off the rails crazy. And it gave me, decades since then of experience learning, growing, and becoming a better version of myself, figuring out what works for me and what doesn't work for me. I'm currently in a coaching program and we share our wins in there. People share their wins in there, just like, hundreds of other communities on the school platform where I operate these days. And those are awesome. They keep us motivated and drive us forward, but they also show us that everybody's going through the same struggles. I joined that program about 3 months ago, and I joined at a really weird time. They were kicking off a big initiative, but I wasn't really part of that. And so I just felt like I was off on an island of my own. And instead of reaching out and asking for help, I just tried to bullet through it and figure it out myself. And so I found myself spinning my wheels, doing the wrong things, reinventing the wheel, listening to a bunch of other people instead of focusing on the thing that I was paying for at the time. And I still am. And at some point I just said, whoa, stop, time out. I need to get back on track. And how I did that was I went into the community and I started reading the posts. There's thousands of them in there. And I realized that absolutely everything I was feeling, dozens of people had felt before, if not everyone. It's why I go to the calls and I listen to the calls and participate live as much as I possibly can. I'm there listening and realizing that it's a journey, but each and every one of us has our own process and have to go through that journey ourselves. Any journey of transformation, only you can do that. Nobody can do it for you. They can coach you through it and help you and show you what other people have done, but it's up to you to take that step in and say, yes, I'm going to do this. And so I've taken that step in and I am doing this. Not going to do this. I am doing this, but it took me a while to get there, right? Maybe old dog, new tricks, that comes into play. So today's topic, I don't think I've gotten to it yet, is mental health and well-being. And to me, I've come to learn through dealing with thousands of different businesses and business owners, absolutely the core foundational thing that makes all the difference in the world is our mental health and well-being and our mindset. With mindset, it's all mental, right? It's all mindset. It's all mental. It's all how we choose to see things and how we choose to talk ourselves into doing things that we think that we don't like, instead of talking ourselves out of doing things that we know have worked for literally millions of people before us. So I like to ask myself a couple of questions here. And one thing is, and this is a lesson I learned a long time ago too, and I definitely have shared this before. If I say I'm fine, watch out. Because whenever I say fine, I'm not fine. I said I was fine for decades and just powered through things, and it all culminated in done. Just done. And frankly, I was done in one of my own businesses, so there was somebody there that could resuscitate me while they waited for emergency people to get there. And, you know, the probability and the statistics on that are so slim that I think of it as a miracle, and so did the community. So there's that. All right. So what are we going to do today? We want to, in our businesses, come up with one way. Number one, we want to set the example. Share what's going on with you. Share when you're burnt out. This whole glorification of hustle, grind, struggle, everything's impossible. You got to do all the hard, boring stuff. Yeah, you got to do some boring stuff whenever you want anything in your life. How many of us are in relationships that were awesome at the beginning, and then we struggled with them, and then they fell into a really nice rhythm and routine? Well, it takes work to create anything like that in any area and aspect of our life. And so I don't know why we think and why we're sold this bill of goods. And I honestly think it's marketing. People sell us you don't have to do anything, but you can get this result. You don't have to do anything, but you can get this transformation. Bullshit, right? Come on, I call bullshit. I love that movie. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Isn't that the one it is? I think it is. Matthew McConaughey. Yeah. Anyway, the point is, in our organizations, we get to control and set up and design the culture. And we want to create the culture of the business and the life we want to live, but also the lives we want our people to be able to live, right? The people that are building the business with us. And again, I'm moving from offline to online and working with both. And so there are distinct differences in the business models. But I personally believe, and have believed for at least since the internet came into being, that every business owner, every entrepreneur, heck, nowadays every person should have their own personal brand and be somehow in the online space. Especially as AI is coming online, I find it imperative to show up and to be yourself and to let people know that you're a human being and that you're a safe human being for them to work with or be in a relationship with or be in communication with, etc. All right, so tomorrow, what are we going to do for today? Our action item is to do one thing. If you have a team, do it with your team. Otherwise, if you're a solopreneur just listening to me as an entrepreneur, you just ran across this video, pick one area of mental health that you can do something about. Anything. Just take one action step toward better mental health and well-being for yourself or for others. And we've spent a whole month talking about mental health and well-being. So if you need to go back and refer to that or ask me, and I will get you some materials on that, and you can look for, okay, what am I going to do? It's not hard to know exactly what to do. You just have to ask yourself and then zip your lip and listen, because you know everything you need to do right now. It's all inside you, just like it's all inside me. That's why I'm doing it. All right. I'm going to skip the reflective questions because I want to be under 15 minutes. If I can help you in any way, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, I invite you to join our Supersize Your Business School community. We talk about topics like this all the time. It's free to join, free to participate in, lots of free materials in there. If I can help you in any way, secret. That's how you get time with me. Go out and just let me know. Otherwise, have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, see you tomorrow.